Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
Those mics there, Brendan. There we go. Now the mics are up. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Sentinel Storage on this game day of Thursday. Matt Iwanyk with you here with a fun show planned for today. As Dash called it yesterday, the heavy hockey invasion of the Hangout. We've got three members from the Heavy Hockey Network. It is Dash in the Park. It is Patrick Phillips, who is making his first appearance to the Hangout. So welcome, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And Ryan Lotsberg back in the Hangout as well. Welcome back, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
I do like that shirt. I didn't say it a little bit earlier, but that's a sharp shirt.
Thank you very much.
It's a good look.
Might get drafted in the handsome sports media draft.
You might
Hush.
Like it starts black, but the hat has the green underneath, which then matches with the shirt, which blends nicely into the beige pants. Is that? I'm not good with my
They're
color. Khaki-ish pants, and like it's a sharp look. I am envious. I
appreciate it.
The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Check them out at sentinel.ca to find a convenient location or more information. Offer ends tomorrow, 75% off 12 weeks on 5x5 units. Boys, how you guys doing today? You guys all made it in okay with the roads?
Yeah,
I just left a little early, but yeah, wasn't too bad.
We're here early enough to throw
You
down.
guys beat me.
Throw down a game of Tecmo Bowl, you know.
Yeah.
Truthfully, yesterday at one point, I was going through the playbook. I spent probably about 20 minutes.
You guys need to see this thing.
During Reed and Jay's show, where I was just going through the playbook, because back at 1260, I had a playbook. I knew my playbook. I knew what to do. Every game, quickly make my changes. But it's been a few years, so I forgot which playbook I had.
Oh, no.
And so yesterday I was really looking, and I think I figured it out. I think I found my playbook, but we're going to have to wait and see. Big news coming to the Tech Bowl League.
You'll find out the first time you play Dusty or Hernan, probably. That's the right playbook.
Well, absolutely. Well, I've lost 3 straight to Hernan in exhibition play recently.
You might want to try and draw, like Reed or Trevor first, just to test those plays out.
well, maybe with Brandon here, the intern. The rest of his time here is just you're going to be my dummy that I'm going to play against.
He looks way better than Trevor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I have the ability to be like, well, I'll fail you, so don't beat me. But I told this story in the Hangout when Brendan was on last week. Were you on last week? That he has to pass because I beat a level in Tetris. And I told him beforehand, if I beat this hard level, you're passing.
Seems fair.
He has all the power now.
I think he always did.
No, he didn't. Because I always had the ability to fail him. Right? Unless he didn't care about that part. Now he knows because he has the video he could take the name. Like, Matt said, I'm passing.
All right.
Yeah, he's got the blackmail on you. He's got the goods.
Iwanyk-isms. Hey, Brendan.
Which some of the people in the office are saying they need to utilize this because they get him to do their dirty work against me. Because what am I going to do against him?
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that.
The mutiny is happening. The uprising is upon us.
Thank you to all the messages in the nasty chat. I do appreciate it. I don't generally publicize when my birthday is, but thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Let's just do this now then.
You didn't have to do this.
On behalf of Heavy Hockey, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. And, a Gretzky bottle of red. A Merlot? Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I will be crushing that later.
I'm sure it's a great bottle.
But
Well done. Well done, Ryan. Well done. If you didn't like that joke, take a 5-minute break from the Hangout. That's all I'm going to say right now because that was outstanding. Well done there. I also want to quickly point out, I have to take self-gloating here, boys. So I apologize. Yesterday was the championship night for our fantasy league, the greatest fantasy league in CFL. Some may say greatest fantasy football league there is, just in any football. It was the Dunya, and I was officially awarded the championship for the 4th time in league history.
For Pete.
The Sacramento Gold Miners, very thankful. To all of our great fans in the great city of Sacramento in the state of California. We couldn't do this without the great support we have out there. So we're very thankful. And we're excited to hang this proudly in our satellite West End Edmonton studios for the world to see. Well, the world of EST to see. So there you go.
I heard.
Oh, no, the patch. I have to get that sewn on.
He puts it back on upside down. Well done. Well done.
Well, I need to get them sewn on, but
It's okay. It's his name. He can put it upside.
I heard there's some franchise name changes as a result of
there
this.
was.
Like, what the heck?
The Memphis Mad Dogs left, and they moved to Birmingham. So now we've got the Birmingham Barracudas in our league.
How do the citizens of Memphis feel about this?
The league's office has been inundated with calls from Memphis this morning, including from the mayor looking for expansion. They're not happy. They want a team, and fortunately, that's not happening anytime soon. So
Can't let a new guy come in and steal the show.
great league. We're going into season 10. We're going into season 10, which we're very excited about. Now, with that, before we get into a bunch of hockey talk, I do have to get to this because are you guys CFL guys at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I am, yeah.
Follow.
Elks then?
Elks, yeah.
That's the team.
Yep.
So prior to the end of the morning show, they'd had the news from Dave Naylor in regards to Jake Sresna that if hits the market, the Elks and the Ticats would be interested. Dave Naylor also says, talking to people around the league, there's a pretty strong belief that Terrell Ford is going to end up in Edmonton. Terrell Ford, Trey Ford's brother, who had an amazing season in Winnipeg last year, was rumored to have thought to be maybe trying some NFL opportunities before signing wherever he does in the Canadian Football League. But he might leave the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to come join his brother here in the city of Edmonton. And what a coup that would be for Ed Hervey if he can go get that done. I think the Elks had 29 pending free agents. I want to say they've only signed like 4 or 5 of them.
3.
Is it 3? Wow. Even less.
It's going to be a new team.
It's quite a bit of a new team right there. So, but that also means a lot of money is available to be spent. So you can go get a Jake Sresna, you can go get a Terrell Ford, and you can help try to rebuild that defense a little bit there.
How'd that secondary be?
It'd be a nice addition. And just from a business perspective, for the Edmonton Elks, you have 2 great Canadians to promote. You got the star quarterback of the team, Trey Ford. You got a great defender who's his brother in Terrell Ford. Put those 2 faces on billboards. 2 Canadians.
Yeah. I thought it was a huge miss last year when they signed MBT, and then he was the guy wearing the 75th anniversary jersey. I think that was a huge miss.
Yeah. No, I agree. So now they'll get Trey Ford, number 2 out there, and potentially Terrell Ford. With that, CFL tampering window officially opens on Sunday at 10 o'clock, which means on Monday we will have a hangout that is dedicated to the tampering window. And then free agency officially opens up on February 11th, and we will talk some fantasy football, or not fantasy football, CFL free agency on the 11th. Okay, let's get going here. We will get to Oilers discussion as it is a game day. Red Wings in town, 6 o'clock GCLD's Oilers Stream pregame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But one thing that's great about us being with Heavy Hockey is that you guys have done, what year is this? Do you remember going into?
We've done 6. I think this is 7
yeah,
or
this might be
7.
7.
This is going into 7. A great charity hockey event that's going to be taking place March 15th. At the downtown community rink. It is the Heavy Hockey Showdown as Team Heavy Hockey will be taking on Team EST from 11 until 2. Money, all in support of SACE, which is the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, if I believe I got the acronym correct there. Last year, do you guys remember the final total? Because the goal was 50 and you got over, it was over 50.
Just about 50. Yeah, we were really
it was
close.
over.
Close.
A rounding error.
Yeah.
We'll
Really
just say 50.
that's what we're saying.
We're going to get over 50 this year.
For sure. But we'll crush that this year.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because the goal was 20.
Yeah. Goal.
That's what it was.
We had done.
Yeah.
Because you guys, I remember, crushed the goal. That's okay. It was just shy of it, but the goal was 20 and absolutely obliterated the goal.
That's right.
This is a fun event. This was a great event last year.
One of the best nights of my year last year. I mean, I don't know what the highlight of it was, whether it was watching you and Eric shove as many pieces of gum into your mouth that I could actually witness, and the
I had 9. I ended with 9. Eric, I think was did he just keep adding? Yeah,
I think he just kept adding.
But he had the thin dentine ice almost look with little chips or whatever.
Oh, I thought he was doing the big chew.
No, he didn't have big chew.
Oh, okay.
But he had like 20 in or something.
Yeah,
he had a bunch.
He was barely audible. Yeah.
And then I had the like those 5s or whatever, those strips.
Oh yeah.
And I crushed 9 of those. My jaw hurt for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised how long. At one point, I was concerned.
Well, I'm sure that coaching a team like that was probably really stressful.
Well, it's a brand new year, Dash. I'm not ready to open up old wounds. I'm not ready to call out people from the past.
More than you already have.
Again, it's 2025. It's a brand new year. I'm a year older. I'm a different person than I was 24 hours ago. Things are different. I have a different outlook on this game. I'm expecting, a solid response from Team EST in this. We will be filling out a little bit of registration forms later today. And I believe in them. You guys beat us both games.
Yeah.
One game was handily beating us.
Yeah, we did good.
Although I'll give Savage the advantage in the fight.
Yeah, he beat the wheels off me. Mm-hmm. I actually asked him if maybe next time he fights somebody, he could let them get a punch in, but whatever.
That was the message sent to 2025.
Well, and it brewed that up, and I don't know if you remember this, but this was right after do you remember the Toronto Maple Leafs empty net slap shot?
Yes.
Incident?
Gregg.
Yes, that was at that time.
And there we were 3 days later in the exact same scenario in the showdown. And what happened? You guys had an empty net and we fired a slap shot into it. So yeah, I guess Savage didn't like that too much, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna stick up for my team. Even if he's bigger, stronger, meaner, better looking.
We did almost score with a pulled goalie.
You did
in the first game.
You know what almost gets you.
Ifs and buts are candy and nuts, right?
Oh, what almost gets us is a belief for this year.
Oh, I see.
That's what that one gets us.
Hashtag
We believe we can get there.
Wow. All right.
Bronco Nick, can we get buy tickets for the charity event?
Yep. Coming soon. You bet.
Tickets.
Well, you know what? We'll be talking about that in our meeting after, I guess. In the past, we've, sold tickets to the event and the watch party. This year, we're, I believe, going to be teaming up with you guys for the watch party on the Friday.
Friday.
Which is going to be at, can I say that
We'll
yet?
be at Boston Pizza on 170th Street, so Westgate, down the street here.
So yeah, nasties, come on down. And you know what? If we do have a fee, it'll be nominal and it goes to an amazing cause. So
there's 50-50 during the game.
Yep.
50-50 during the game. But the downtown community rink, yeah, you could come on down. You could come watch it. It is a great time. Also, though, over the course of the next, what do we have? 1.5 months?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. All the team players, they have donation pages. So there's a lot of time for everyone to go and help support, whether it's going to be some members of Team EST or if you're just anyone. Go. In the end, it all goes to a good cause. There is a prize for whoever raises the most. That trophy, there is something for that. But in the end, if you just want to donate, like Savage the Plumber has a page, and I've seen him promoting that out there. If you want to go support and give a donation, it is a great cause. When it comes to SACE, they need all the support that they can get. It's not it's not a top of mind always charity that you would say. And every dollar absolutely matters. And do you remember the breakdown of how much to help 1 hour?
The math's changed a little bit, I think, since last year, but I think it was for every, how many dollars raised?
$97.
Yeah.
Like 1 hour of counseling appointments, but it's so much more than just counseling. They have a crisis support line, which is entirely run by volunteers. They have volunteers there 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily to accept calls. They help people with the police and court process as well. And then they offer free counseling, right? So like that doesn't happen without some money going on in the background. So it's amazing that they can offer these services to people for free. And the big thing is there's so many more people out there that need access to these services, and we need to reduce the wait time for these services.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah,
Well said,
absolutely.
Lotsy. Yeah. The wait times are well over a year. And for every $97 we raise and we can push another appointment through, obviously that's going to cut wait times down. Patrick's going to be involved this year. There's a rumor we might be live streaming the game with some color commentary.
If we can find strong enough internet to do it. It's probably the Rogers Place Wi-Fi is probably not good enough, but I don't know if you guys.
They are improving it right now, actually. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if it's because it's the upload that you need.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good.
I mean, Tommy's done enough hits there. You'd have to think that.
Hits are one thing compared to
'cause it's gonna
the
be like
full
3
stream.
hours, right?
But I feel like next time I'm around there, I'll have to double check that. But I would think it's pretty strong. Like, especially like you're not, Rogers Place isn't full at that time. Like, obviously if there's more people there, it eats up the bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be fun too, if you guys can live stream that. It would be play by play.
I'd be doing it. And,
play by play?
Tyson from Dolly TV.
Nice.
Would be doing it.
It's a fun event. So keep that in your calendar, March 15th. But also you'll keep hearing about it here on Edmonton Sports Talk, or if you're listening to anything on the Heavy Hockey Network, which includes Oilers Lives, which streams pretty much every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, right here on the station. The only reason I say pretty much every Wednesday, if there's no other game that night, it will move, and we try to move it likely to the Tuesdays. And then obviously Michael he can't be here today. He just chose not to fly in today.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Couldn't flap his arms all the way from Halifax. Lazy.
Crazy. Just didn't want to pay the $1,000 to just come and then fly back to be part of this invasion. But whatever, Michael.
Well, you could have stayed a while. You didn't have to fly her back.
I guess we had a bigger operating budget for sponsorships. DM me.
If you fly a plane. Michael would love to hear from you. It'd make things a lot quicker.
Lend Heavy Hockey your PJ, and we'll put a logo on it. And
if you go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com at the top, it says HH Showdown. Click that. It takes you right to the page. Yeah. So just if you're ever seeing it on our website, if you happen to be there, that will take you. And again, we will talk about it a lot more over the course of the next 6 weeks, as this is a fun event, as we've said, and it goes to a great, great cause. You guys want to talk some Oilers?
Do it.
Anything going on?
Not much this week, really. Yeah.
It's been a week.
They've been off for a couple days.
Right.
It's been quiet.
Ish.
There's been no news. Nothing coming from the Heavy Hockey guys.
No.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
It's been really sad.
Oh.
You had it, actually. A few of you, actually, because Heavy Hockey, you guys say a few of you have been able to confirm the idea that the Oilers are talking with Brendan Saad. What do you guys make of Brendan Saad potentially with the Edmonton Oilers?
At the end of the day, we throw the scratch ticket analogy around, and ultimately I think that's what it is. Whether Brandon Saad's the perfect fit for the Oilers or not, I don't know. Let's see, I guess. But it's no different than the Klingberg thing, really. If it doesn't cost you anything to acquire him in a trade sense, you're going to have to pay him a salary, of course, but if it doesn't cost you anything to acquire him, you don't have to give anything to get him up, then, well, I don't know. Why not? Why not? Really, I think what I like about it is the same thing I said about the Klingberg signing, is that it gives us options. It gives the Oilers options before the trade deadline, right? If Klingberg ends up being a top 4 defenseman and looks comfortable there, and we can find a partner for Nurse, and if Saad can slot into the 4th line and provide scoring, then maybe we go a different direction in the trade deadline. So I like the options it gives them, and ultimately I don't think he's going to be signed for enough that we couldn't bury him in the minors if need be or what have you. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Oh no, go for it.
Yeah, like I don't know how good the fit is from a style perspective. Like, he's got the size, but I think if people are thinking that he's going to come in and make us a tougher team, then I think we need to adjust the expectations a little bit. Like, he's got 7 hits this season. He had 17 hits last season. He's not a crasher and a banger. Dash, you said you were looking at his fancies a little bit earlier. I don't know. I'm guessing they're not fantastic on a mediocre Blues team and a player who's struggling on that team.
They're
So-
okay.
They're okay.
Yeah, they weren't bad. I mean, his PDO as a personal player, I think, was in a 96 or something, which is, is considerably under 100. And that was all situations. So, 5-on-5, I think he had an even lower PDO. So maybe he hasn't had the best personal puck luck. His Corsi 4 and his Fenwick 4 were all right around 50. So he's not hurting them overly. I've talked to a few St. Louis Blues fans that say he has no idea what defense even is. That all said, I do think he brings toughness, Lotsy. I do. And go ahead and look at hits if you want. I think Draisaitl has 7 hits this year. And I'm not going to be worried about Draisaitl's grit in the playoffs. He's going to bring it, and he's going to be nasty. I think Saad has that ability too. Size, 6'1", 220 or whatever. That's, he's bigger than all of us probably. But at the end of the day, I think when he comes to the playoffs, he's a hard worker. He's tenacious. He's a dog on a bone. He can drop the gloves when need be. And I think that is hockey toughness, in my opinion. But
Yeah, like he's on pace for 14 goals again this year, and for bottom 6 production, that'd be just fine. And I think he had 26 last year still.
Yep.
And it's not a bad strategy for the Oilers to sign free agents and then, like you said, test them out. Maybe Klingberg works out, maybe Brandon Saad works out, and you don't have to spend huge assets at the trade deadline to bring something else in. So, and the Oilers still have some time before the trade deadline to test these guys out. So, yeah. I mean, we don't officially have Brandon Saad yet, but
yeah,
I don't mind the strategy at all.
7 goals. It's if you look at our bottom 6 right now, that would make him the 7th highest scoring forward on the Oilers, which means he'd be the highest scoring bottom 6 forward at this point in time. He's got more goals than a lot of them. If you look at his adjusted fantasy stats too, like taking into the expected goals for and adjusting with PDO, he would have 11 goals this year. So, that's a little bit more onto the pace of 20-some like he had last year. And if we had 20-some goals in our bottom 6, I think we'd be pretty happy with that. So there's the intangible benefit of he's a winner. He's never had high-end skill at any league. He's never had really fast boots. In fact, some would say if he's any slower, you'd have to water him twice a week. But he's got 2 Stanley Cups, and he was a contributor on those cups. And, we've heard it when we talk about Perry. We've heard it when we talk about other veterans on the team. Having that presence on the bench, having that presence in the dressing room, just being able to look across and look somebody in the eye that's won a Stanley Cup and say, what do we need to do here? And they're like, stick to your game, do what we need to do, stick to the plan and be calm. And those things matter. It can settle a room down. It can settle a bench down. And whether he can do that for us, if he makes it, then why not?
Well, he's another guy, down the lineup too. Like if, say, McDavid and Draisaitl are getting really shut down for one game and no one can buy a goal, maybe he's a guy that playing lower down could get that
He
goal.
can come up, play a couple games in the top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can moonlight there for sure.
Button said it on the morning show, right? I think when they load up that top line and they go to the nuclear option with Nugent or with Dry and
Leon.
Leon and Connor, sorry. It sometimes forces other teams to load up against them, which, creates more space for the second line and the third line. So if you've got the best defensive forwards of the other team always going up against the nuclear option, then, maybe that can open up some space for a guy like him.
I just question what the contract would look like because, it'd be great to sign like the Klingberg cheap buried in the minors. Why is Saad walking away 4.5 to St. Louis for the 2 years?
Are we missing something?
That's the thing I don't like. Usually, if you're going to walk away from that 4.5, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get some good money somewhere else or something. Like, that's the power you have as the player. It's like, I'm owed 4.5 for 2 more years.
4.5 is the cap hit. I think he was due over $5 million. Like
Was he due
almost
more?
$6 million.
Well, because he still has a little bit of money to be earned in this season
Right.
that he's going to walk away from. So, it's like over $5 million total that he's going to forfeit.
So that's why, are you really going to come in and sign a league minimum and then, or like million or something? Like what, you're going to try for a show me contract? Because do you think you're going to get more than 4.5 or like on the net on a deal this summer? Like that's the part I'm looking at and going, why is he walking away from money to then just go sign for cheaper somewhere else?
Yeah, he's got to be available for a reason, right? I kind of said something along the same lines with Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. Great additions, but these guys are available for a reason. right? Skinner got bought out. I mean, yeah, he's not a $9 million player anymore, and Buffalo was happy to walk away from him. We took the chance at 3, but there's still some inherent risk in the player not being good enough defensively, which is kind of what we've run into here, and doesn't have Knoblauch's trust clearly, so it's been an issue. He's in and out of the lineup. Arvidsson, injury issues. He's missed some time this year. It's taken him a little while to get going, and he's playing pretty well right now, but it's taking him a minute to get there, so a little bit of risk there. I don't know what the issue is with Saad. It's from what I've been able to piece together from doing my little bit of reading, it sounds like the Blues wanted to go younger, and that's kind of been their MO this season. I mean, Holloway, Broberg, youth movement, right?
Yep.
And they're keeping that going by getting rid of Saad. They wanted to make room for Alex Texier, get him into the lineup a little bit more. They're tight up against the cap, so this gives them some cap space, a little bit of room to work with at the deadline if they want it. And Saad, I think, just wants to play. Like that's all I can really think of from his perspective. The guy just wants to play.
Well, one thing I was mentioning on the pod last night, like if he keeps that contract, he's stuck in the American Hockey League, right? You are giving up the money, but now he's a free agent and he can sign anywhere. He doesn't have to go to the AHL.
Yeah.
So that could be one factor, but it's still, there's got to be more to the story, like you said. But
I read that he refused to go to the AHL. What is their affiliate? Springfield?
Springfield, I think, yeah.
I think he'd refuse to go there, which, whatever.
Which then I respect the fact that it's like, cause so according to Puckpedia, it said the total salary for this year 4.38 this year, 3.63 next year. So maybe I respect the guy who goes, you want to know something? That almost $8 million. I'm good. I'd rather play hockey in the National Hockey League. I'm good enough to play in the National Hockey League. I've made enough money in my life that I just want to go play. So St. Louis, you don't want to have me up there. You're going to bury me in the minors. I don't want that. Let's walk away. You can have the cap space back. Because generally, why would players do this? Like, why wouldn't we see this more? It's because the players want that money. You owe me this money. I'm not giving up my money here.
Yeah.
For him, it's okay. Maybe just strictly, I just want to go play. And now, he could come to the Edmonton Oilers and it's, okay, you're not getting paid what you were, but you get to play in the National Hockey League and you get a shot at the Stanley Cup. And maybe that's just what motivates me. Every player has a different motivation. That's just the part where I just sit there and go, what's this contract going to be for the Oilers?
Yeah.
Because you just don't see a guy walk away from the money too often on their own accord.
I feel like we don't have all the information either. Like I it's similar to when Perry and the Hawks decided mutually to terminate that contract. There's generally still a compensation or a buyout in the background.
Well, that one almost went to, was there not grievances? And Perry agreed to drop the grievance?
there was something. I don't know.
I think in the end he dropped it.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, Corey Perry had a grievance with the Blackhawks through the PA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do remember smoke around that. But, let's say there was some sort of, buyout's the wrong word because it's not an official NHL buyout or contract buyout. But if there's a compensation given to him personally, okay, we'll terminate this contract and mutually agree to that. But here's $1 million for doing so.
That will probably go against the CBA. That probably goes against the league rules. But as the Brandon Saad thing happened, I saw the termination, and we saw there was a recent termination, I thought too. But why don't more teams do this?
Why don't more teams do this? I think we're missing information. I really do. But if it is about winning, does money really matter for the rest of this season to him?
No.
If that's what his intention is that I'm going to agree with my employer to not make this $7 million over the next or $8 million over the next 2 years, he must really want to win. And if he really wants to win, play for the league minimum for the rest of this year.
I'm still trying to figure out Puckpedia and how it all works.
Yeah, I think if money really mattered, he wouldn't have given up the contract.
It's not the most user-friendly site. It's fantastic information, but
yeah. Well, and I just want to know what he's made over his career.
Yeah. Right? I was just thinking to myself, he's made a lot of money in his career. Like he had a big $6 million cap hit at one point.
That was for 6 years.
6-year deal, yeah. And this one's, I think it was 4 by 4.5 or something around those lines. So
36 mil for that deal, and then 4.5, and then that's cap it. So
57,260,000 career earnings.
How much?
57,260,000.
The buddy's okay.
If maybe
can you live off that?
I mean, I can. I've been
in this economy, though, who knows?
It might be tight.
Yeah, so maybe he's also been really good with his money. He's taking care of it, and he goes, "What is $7 million to me versus $2 million I can make with the Oilers over the next 2 years?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm costing myself $5 million, but I get a shot at the cup again." And that's what motivates me more. I'm one of those people. I've got enough money. I don't need that extra more. And that's part of it. But who's going to be that team that now starts, we got this bad contract. Okay, dude, we'll pay it to you through your wife with this thing over here. We're going to put you on waiver, we're going to put you on waivers. Somebody claims you, have fun. If not, we'll pay something over here. Keep this hush hush. You agree to terminate. You'll get your money. But you just go say, I want to go win or something like that. Who's going to be the team that's going to try to do that?
Probably the Oilers.
I was thinking Vegas. Well, yeah, I was thinking if anyone's going to, I think if Vegas is going to be the first one to try that. The Oilers should be a team that should try that. Except I don't know who they'd want to terminate.
Cough, cough, Kane.
Yeah.
Cough, cough.
Except I think that one would be tougher to get him to play along. I'm not going to lie. I think maybe that could be a little tougher.
Yeah, he wouldn't play along.
Yeah.
We got to remember,
I get the impression Kane is about money.
Fair enough.
He'd call a press conference.
But Armstrong tried to trade Saad. There was a piece in The Athletic that came out where he said he tried to trade Saad.
Right.
He just couldn't find a dance partner, couldn't find a suitable deal. You've tried everything. You tried to trade the player, waive him. Nobody claims him. Player refuses to go to the AHL. You're kind of at an impasse. I'm thinking of Jonathan Drouin back when he was with Tampa Bay. They wanted to send him to the AHL. He wouldn't go, and he just sat for a long time while the trade happened.
Right? Yeah, Yzerman don't play.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and then Alan Walsh was all out screaming about Drouin and all that.
Yeah, so I think Saad as a 32-year-old vet versus Drouin being a kid then. Yeah, I think he's got a little bit more respect and a little more sway than what Drouin had then. So I think Armstrong's more willing to be like, okay, let's set you up.
Okay, everybody stop what you're doing. Go run to the kitchen pantry right now. Grab a box of your Alcan tinfoil. Twist it up. Wrap it on your head. Make a little pony on the top. We had a texter on our show last night that had his tinfoil hat on. I'm not saying, let me just preface this with, I'm not sure I agree with this whatsoever. But
I love a good tinfoil hat.
But I love I love a good conspiracy theory, and I'll listen to both sides. What if, at the end of last year, as the Oilers knew they probably could not re-sign Broberg and Holloway, or thought they did not want to give that money, talked to Armstrong ahead of time. Again, this is the tinfoil hat wearing texter we had, saying that, what if it was Kapanen, Saad, a second and a third? Well, that's what they got right now.
And Fisher.
Right, sorry.
I can't agree with that tinfoil hat theory because anyone could have claimed those two guys on waivers. Why not just put them part of the trade then? Why wasn't Kapanen at least part of that trade?
Yeah.
That's the one where I see what they're trying to connect the pieces to, but I don't know if you're St. Louis, for sure that you're going to be able to mutually terminate Saad's contract later. One, would he go, what if somebody just claims him on waivers? I think that one's just a little too risky for me. I can't agree with that full tinfoil hat. But I think that there is a Oiler fan could look at it that way, no? I think
sure.
That's kind of how this is all played out in a sense.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that Oilers fans aren't irrational.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just leaving it at that.
Okay, I got Derek from the Hat in the Nasty Chat. If you're aiming for Saad to eliminate losing assets at the deadline, that is very, very bad management from Jackson and Bowman. If the Oilers go for Klingberg and Saad, and let's say there's one more, I think Pirlo Brown at one point said there might be a depth defenseman, let's say. Let's say the Oilers go grab a depth defenseman. We're talking 4th, 5th, 6th type Z-man or something, maybe even 7th. Is that a good enough? Okay, I'll explain. We have the arcade machine and somebody's playing track and field. There's a track and field game which you have to click.
Okay.
It's an old school track and field game. I'm assuming that's Trev, so apologies.
Is somebody sewing out there?
Nope, just doing the 100-meter.
There's it goes 100-meter, long jump.
Hurdles.
Is hurdles 3rd?
Might be 4th. I don't know.
Long jump, there's javelin.
And somebody lost.
There's high jump and there's hammer throw. I know high jump is last. Hammer throw, I think, is second last. So I don't know the other orders. So yeah, that's what's going on there. But okay, the Oilers, let's say they go get Klingberg, they do Saad, they go, this is good. We add depth defenseman. We're happy. That's it. That's our deadline time move. Is that good enough for the Edmonton Oilers in a year like this?
I don't think we know yet.
Yeah, we have to see how they look first.
Got to see how Klingberg and Saad, if he comes, does.
Yeah, so I'm never the fan that is demanding all in, demanding you be in on the biggest name possible just because we have Connor and Leon. It's the win now, window. I'm not losing sleep over that because the teams that acquire the big name players at the deadline don't usually win. They don't. Like,
correct.
Look at the Rangers. They got Tarasenko and Kane a couple of years ago. They're out in the first round.
I would argue Hurdle was the biggest name to move last deadline, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Just trying to think.
Yeah, Vegas out first round.
He was injured. It was a risk, but it didn't work for them.
They
almost missed the playoffs.
They got Hannafin in that deadline too, right?
Yes.
But yet Colorado picks up a Cogliano and a Manson, and they went all the way.
I mean, Manson's a good top 4D, but yeah, exactly. It wasn't like a top pairing guy. Yeah. So is Rantanen going to be the answer in Carolina? We'll see, right? If they needed to add a star like that, they probably didn't have enough in their holster to get them over the edge.
He's going to be the answer in Edmonton.
Rantanen?
Oh, yes, my
that
apologies.
That would be a terrible move for the Oilers.
Haven't you seen the news lately? Jeez,
So, from my perspective, the Oilers using this strategy of signing a couple of risky free agents rather than emptying their holster with the limited draft picks they have at the deadline, I think it's a smart and frugal and prudent move. I think I'd actually like to see them hold on to their assets for a minute here.
Keep their powder dry.
Keep their powder dry for 1 year, just so that you can continue to do it next year and the year after that, right? It's like a credit card spending. You got to pay it back at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let Philly just have the first round pick this year. Then we at least have it next year, we know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really have the team where we can bring in a big superstar anyways. Like, honestly, even if there was, pick your offensive defenseman, like maybe a Ghost of Spear or something like that. I mean, they're not playing the power play. Bouchard's got his spot there. You bring in, the hypotheticals around Rantanen for next year, a player like that this year at the deadline. They're not playing the power play. So, were you going to bring in a big offensive superstar, like a first liner to sit on the bench during the power play and play a little bit of second and third line minutes? Doesn't make sense. The big thing we need is the reincarnation of Brian Marchment, just somebody that is just an absolute nasty defensive defenseman that people are scared to death to go to our crease and can play some 4 or 5 defense minutes. Like that's about as big as we can go, I think.
Well, like I don't want to. I'll probably come off as an Oilers management apologist to some out there because, like, I agree to a degree. Like, part of why I also don't think the Oilers should just empty the assets for this trade deadline. Because, like, look, the Oilers need to go win a Stanley Cup, and part of all in is you just need to get that one. Then everything else after that is kind of that gravy time, and then people they're not gonna think it at that moment. But I think you should be like, oh, okay, well, if there's not a lot to trade at the deadline, you got your cup at least, and the Oilers need to go get their cup. But I look at the available names.
It's not inspiring.
It's one of those years where you don't sit there and go, there's this easy, natural fit for the Edmonton Oilers. And okay, of the needs of the Oilers, yes, go get player X. Go get that player to add to this team. And it is worth giving up another first round pick and another top prospect. Like, if there is a Matthias Ekholm type trade sitting there that we don't know of, I'll probably be like, yes, go get that done if you're Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman. But we don't know those names. Based on the names that we've heard right now, we look at it, I don't want the Oilers to just go make moves and give up assets just for the sake of making moves and giving up assets to show their fan base that we're all in. The team's good, first and foremost. This is a good hockey team. Yeah. And that's where I like, okay, if you go get a Klingberg and Saad, let's see how this plays out. But if these guys can help, to your point, Patrick, with no assets.
Yeah.
You made trade deadline moves without assets. And now who knows what happens with Evander Kane if he comes back and how healthy he might be. But if he can get to being a little bit close to Evander Kane, I will view that as a little addition to this team. Like it's the, and then if you could go maybe give up a little bit of assets to get a little more depth on defense. To me, I'm big on just, you never know about injuries, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Go fill that out. I think that's what the Oilers should do. Like, I don't really want to see a first or a top prospect be moved out this year, unless there's Matthias Ekholm 2.0 on the right side.
Nor do we have a first or a top prospect, really. So.
Well,
That's on
the first
table,
round
but-
pick from this past year, you could part with him.
Yeah.
He's
O'Reilly.
like,
They went and got him for a reason, though.
absolutely. But in the end, if you have that player that you think is
I mean, if it's Ekholm 2.0,
going like that's going to help you win the
it.
cup this year, you might have to be like, Kate, that's one pick and a pick 2 years from now or something like that. And you're kicking all these cans down the roads when like the assets, if you're just giving them all up. The next year you have none. Like if this year if you don't win this year, what do you have next year for the deadline? And it's those type of things that I look at the players this year and go, there isn't that one for the Oilers. So maybe this is a year you hold back a little bit because you've gone and got a Klingberg and you got a Saad, and let's see how these guys play out.
Then, like the other thing we got to consider too is the wild card races in both conferences are so tight. There's not many teams that are like truly out of it. So it might actually be a pretty sparse trade deadline. It might not be a lot of action because there's not many teams that are considered sellers yet. And we might not make those decisions until a couple days before the deadline.
Yeah, and while with Four Nations, like there's going to be a break coming up here, but like, so and we might be at a point where it's going to be still teams are in that break for 2 weeks. We're thinking, no, we're still in this.
Yeah.
We're not ready to be sellers. And you're just getting that much closer to March 7th, and there's less teams going, no, I'm willing to trade things. The doc in the nasty chat, screw assets, trade picks, trade prospects, win now. Who cares about the dry powder? We've been planning for the future for 18 years. We're here now, empty the tank and win. To then, okay, the doc, what player is that? What player is that like on the trade bait board that you have seen that you believe is completely worth those assets to get them in here to Edmonton to improve this team? That is realistic. Like, there are certain players that you're not going to be able to just bring in.
Yeah, we're not getting Crosby.
You're not getting Crosby. You're not. I don't know, you're not getting a Miller from Vancouver or something like that, right?
No.
Like, but Doc, who is it then? Who is the available names that we have heard, or look at upcoming free agents in this upcoming year that you believe then the Oilers should go completely all in for?
I think
I just would like to know what those names are, because I don't see one of those. Like on the trade bait board, the number one right pairing defenseman, Savard from Montreal.
Right.
There's a lot of other fans out there that immediately are like, I don't want Savard here on this team. Why are you going to give up assets for Savard? So who is it to the doc?
I think to your point on the Ekholm trade, Ekholm wasn't on the board. Nobody knew that Ekholm was available. So to Doc's point, if I'm going to defend him a little bit, maybe there's a player out there that we don't know. I mean,
And I did say if there's Matthias Ekholm 2.0, go all in.
so
Go get that guy.
Is Brad Marchand Ekholm 2.0?
No.
Why not?
Because your team doesn't need to keep just loading up the forward base. I think constantly loading up forwards is the mistake. You need another defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're going to need. Especially like, I like Bouchard. I won't be trading Bouchard or anything. But with his season he's had, I think you need another player to just help bolster that grouping.
Mm-hmm.
I would not bring in like Brad Marchand's not a guy I would be personally looking at. You guys?
No, I have defense is where you got to add number 4, number 5 guy like we've been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brent Clark was healthy scratched. ... You know, I mean, I can't imagine they're going to trade him in the division, but
Yeah, when we play LA in the first round, that'll be
right again. But
Um,
you know, that's a player I'd take. But again, we're bringing in an offensive defenseman to, you know, he can move the puck, which is still great. You need a puck mover. You guys we need guys that can exit the zone. But you know, he's not going to get the points that he was getting in LA. It's apparently not going to get them there anymore either. Now that Drew Doughty's back, but you know, maybe we just don't know what's available.
Well, we don't, and that's why like we will see a change. No one was expecting Matthias Ekholm, and that's what, like, to me, if you go get that player that we're not talking about, sure, that's a different story. You go get that, but based on the names that we know of, there isn't that player for me, and that's why I'm okay with if Klingberg looks fine once we see him. If Saad signs with the Oilers and we see him and he looks like he could keep producing and fill out that bottom 6. If the Oilers go give up a 3rd round pick somewhere along the line to get a depth defenseman, I can live with that.
Yep.
I could live with that for this year because also just you have to look. This team is good, and there should be some like I know. I remember the Jays a number of years ago. I think it was Anthopoulos at the time. He didn't bring in assets the 1 year, and I think Jose Bautista was like upset.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't think this. I think that like, and it could go one of two ways. I think one, there could be a team like, why aren't you helping us go up? Or the other side, and I think for this team maybe more so, it's you guys are good. We believe in you. We don't need much else. Like you guys go play at your game, and no one's beating you. The Edmonton Oilers are on top of their game. How many teams in the National Hockey League right now could knock off the Oilers in best of 7 series?
I don't think any. Maybe Dallas.
You think Dallas?
Maybe.
Like
Probably not after the Heiskanen injury.
I go Florida right off
yeah.
just because they did it last year.
Yeah.
I think Vegas would keep up with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Vegas would, yep.
The Jets seem to cause the Oilers troubles.
Yeah, we could get
historically.
bullied by the
matchup
Jets
too.
again. Yeah.
Without Rantanen, I would have said Colorado a week ago. Today I won't.
Well, they're not. They can't be done. Is Colorado done?
You wouldn't think so. They got to be adding somebody else.
They'll look, but I agree that they're not as strong as they were. Like I like Nikas as a player, and they got to do more for me.
Yeah, Nathan
Like-
McKinnon's going to be pretty ticked off if he's not getting somebody else.
Is it maybe one of the guys from Vancouver?
Yeah, maybe.
they can potentially make that happen.
Yep. JT Miller would be a great 2C there.
But that's but as of right now, like it's if I'm Jeff Jackson, I'm going to go to the Oilers and go, like if you're at your game, there's no one that can almost beat you. There's very few, and it's not even like when I'm saying the Panthers or the Jets, or the Golden Knights. It's not they're going to beat you. It's we're in for a series.
Yeah.
We're in for a 7-game series. This is going to be a battle.
Yep.
But there's no cakewalk to it. That's where I think maybe if the Oilers actually did get Klingberg and a Saad and some, I think even in the locker room, I don't think they'd be like, why didn't we get someone else? Like you're saying with McKinnon,
Right.
I think it'd be from the message from up high. We believe in you.
Yeah.
And I've heard it go both ways. Like when Holland was here in this couple of years, it was always we brought someone in. It's like, okay,
We'll get to that
we're
right
going
away.
to get somebody because we believe in you. We think you can win, so we're going to help you. And I've heard it go both ways. Like when Holland was here in this couple of years, it was always we brought someone in. It's like, but yeah, you can totally see it, what Maddie's saying. The message can be, hey, we believe in you guys. This roster as it is right now, go get it done without spending the assets.
Probably depends on the internal relationships in the room too, right? Like there was the rumors that Draisaitl blocked the CC trade at the deadline last year, and you know, like he was absolutely beloved in the dressing room.
Right
but
now,
you know,
go get it done.
Vibe Daddy Barry is also beloved. Probably depends on the internal relationships in the room too, right? Like there was the rumors that Draisaitl blocked the CC trade at the deadline last year, and you know, like he was absolutely beloved in the dressing room.
Right
but
now,
you know,
go get it done.
That's fair.
Without
Vibe Daddy
spending
Barry
the
is also
assets.
beloved. Probably depends on the internal relationships in the room too, right? Like there was the rumors that Draisaitl blocked the CC trade at the deadline last year, and you know, like he was absolutely beloved in the dressing room.
Right
but
now,
you know,
go get it done.
That's fair.
Without
Vibe Daddy
spending
Barry
the
is also
assets.
beloved. Probably depends on the internal relationships in the room too, right? Like there was the rumors that Draisaitl blocked the CC trade at the deadline last year, and you know, like he was absolutely beloved in the dressing room.
Right
but
now,
you know,
go get it done.
That's fair. Vibe Daddy Barry is also beloved. Probably depends on the internal relationships in the room too, right? Like there was the rumors that Draisaitl blocked the CC trade at the deadline last year, and you know, like he was absolutely beloved in the dressing room.
Right
but
now,
you know,
go get it done.
That's fair.
Without
Vibe Daddy.
right? And then where I always go is like I am thinking about the future, even with this team, because you got Leon who just signed for 8 years. You've got Connor McDavid who you want to sign for 8 more years. And those boys want to win over anything. Right. So you got to have a plan in place to make sure that they're going to be competitive for that entire 8-year life cycle. So just piss away all your assets now, chasing a championship or doing things that may not even help you win a championship.
Yeah, like Matt Savoy, Sam O'Reilly, like I know it was just preseason, but he didn't look like he was that far off from potentially, like he didn't look out of place.
You got a good long look.
Yeah. I mean, like he's still, I'm sure, a couple years away at least, but like I don't want to be giving up those guys. Like you need those guys coming in on cheaper contracts to keep the team competitive.
Yeah, you need a pipeline of draft picks that can come in and contribute on a cheap contract. And like we gave up nothing to get it. Well, okay, we gave up a first rounder, but like it was just.
But he's a good first round pick.
He's a good first round pick, right? And Yeah, I don't know. So like, I'm not like, I'll argue that go all in mentality all day.
Sorry to everyone on the listing. We had a little bit of doubling up issue. We're trying something. You were trying to add graphics and things to the Hangout for those on YouTube, and that one didn't work. Brendan, good try there. Clearly, I didn't have something set up properly, but we were trying to get the trade bait board shown up so people could see.
Oh, this year's trade bait board.
The top from TSN, just some of the top available players. But instead, you heard doubling up of audio. Which was weird. So we should all be good now. We should all be good, but apologies on that.
Well, we did say it was an invasion.
There are such thing as UFOs.
There is.
There's the tinfoil.
UFAs and UFOs.
It's been confirmed. This is the heavy hockey invasion of the Hangout. We got Patrick, we got Dash, we got Ryan with us here. Matt Iwanyk with you here on the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Reminder, GCLD's Oilers Stream pregame show. Tom Zola, Hernan Salas will get you set for Oilers Red Wings 6 o'clock tonight right here on EST. Throughout today, though, we've got Lock Shop. Today's Thursday, so we got two guys and a goalie. We got EST afternoons as well as the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Do quickly want to get to, because Dusty threw in the nasty chat, you guys discussing this Oilers quarter century team. I didn't know there's going to be an Oilers quarter century team. There's an Oilers quarter century team that has been announced.
Okay.
I guess I should read more on what this is. What are we considering the quarter century? With 2025 underway, according to NHL, the NHL is celebrating the best of the past 25 years, revealing quarter century teams for each of the league's 32 franchises and the Arizona Coyotes. So
Come along after that.
They're not legit going to do, like, they can't do an all team for Utah and then one for the Coyotes. I'm assuming they're mixing them together.
You'd have to think so.
So you don't have to say the 32 franchises. Like, Utah, it is franchise history in Utah. No, it isn't. It's a brand new franchise.
Yeah, technically, I think they gave them a new franchise.
They are a new franchise. The history of the Arizona Coyotes, which includes the Winnipeg Jets, is left behind in Arizona. They are at this moment a defunct team.
Yeah.
And the Utah is considered an expansion team in a sense. This is year one. So if they release, so basically it's Utah's top players from this year are their, it's their all-century team. Okay. I think you could have done it without Utah. Straight up. Each team's represented by a first and a second team of 6 players, 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie who played from the franchise from January 1st, 2000 to December 31st, 2024. These were selected by broadcasters, national writers, local writers, as well as NHL.com writers who have covered their respective teams.
So did the Jets include the Thrashers?
They would have to. Yep. If I'm understanding it correctly. Okay, so here is interesting. Here's the quarter century team for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to go second team. We'll build up to first team. Sean Horkoff, Ales Hemsky, Ryan Smith is the forwards.
On the second team.
This is second team Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
Matthias Ekholm, Jason Smith is the 2 defenders.
Okay.
And Tommy Salo is the second team Edmonton Oilers quarter century team. The first team, McDavid, Leon, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Defensively, first team, Bouchard and Nurse. And Dwayne Rollison is the goalie. So again, first team for the Edmonton Oilers of their quarter century team, which is 2000 through 2020, the end of 2024, so the last 25 years. McDavid, Leon, and Nuge in top first team as the forwards. Bouchard, Nurse as the defense. Rollison as the goalie. Second team, Horkoff, Hemsky, Ryan Smith. Defensively, Ekholm, Jason Smith, Tommy Salo. Thoughts?
Chris Pronger.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Now,
Chris
how do we define the
Pronger.
criteria for this team? I mean, Pronger's only here for a year.
Season.
Yeah, we'd have to see the criteria there, because if Chris Pronger isn't on your first team defense pairing,
they had, according to what I'm reading right now, they would have had to play from the franchise from January 1st, 2000 through December 31st, 2024.
Okay, so
any amount of games.
No
it doesn't have anything. Oh, coming up Friday, Utah Hockey Club quarter century teams. I'm very excited about this one.
I'm on bated breath.
It doesn't have Is there any other? Is today the first day they're doing this, or have they been doing this? I had not heard these before.
I knew it was coming, but I didn't know when they were going to announce.
So I don't know if the Oilers are the first one. Somebody could correct me if they've seen other ones. I think it's just, to me, it's anyone that has played. Like, I would think it has to be like, I'm assuming they're going to go from a certain amount of time. Like if you played 5 games or something, like a quick or trade deadline pickup, it failed and moved on, you're not going to go with them.
Yeah.
But Chris Pronger played an entire season.
Got to the Cup Finals.
Yeah. 30 minutes a night.
He's a difference maker.
From what I understand, was basically the coach.
James does say it's been going on all month. So I don't know if there's any other better criteria for this. Okay, I'm going to have to quickly see if I could find a criteria.
I'm looking
for
at a
this.
Reddit thread, and there's people saying I think the fact that Pronger was only here for 1 season is why they put more long-term players on this list. Pronger's definitely the best defenseman the Oilers have had in the last 25 years.
And this is definitely a subjective opinion of, you said it's media and broadcasters that put this together.
Yeah. I like Bouchard. I don't know if I'd put him on the first team right off the bat, though. Like, and maybe this is the recency from this year. Has Evan Bouchard been one of the 2 best defensemen the Edmonton Oilers have had over the last 25 years?
He's done some he's done some pretty special things. Like you look at the playoff production that he's had. He's breaking playoff records. Like he's
breaking Paul Coffey's records. He's leading postseason plus minuses.
But Chris Pronger took a team that did not have a Connor McDavid, did not have a Leon Draisaitl, and carry them. And Rolison's part of that too, and he's on the list. To Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final.
And don't get me wrong.
Like that's the part. Like I'm not saying Bouchard shouldn't be there. I'm just surprised he'd be elevated to a first team already.
Yeah, like
when you had a Chris Pronger. Now,
Pronger over Bouchard, I think is the
players under consideration for selection are those who appeared in a game for the respective franchises since January 1st, 2000.
Did it have to be a righty and a lefty?
I honestly don't care.
Well, I don't care. I'm just
like that's one I would throw Chris Pronger in there because that was like it's not even just he was such a great player.
Right.
He did amazing things in the 1 year with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It must just be because it's only 1.
I mean,
that'd be the only reason to leave him off. It was the only here.
But okay, I'm just devil's advocate here, I guess. Has his 1 year, is it worse than what Bouchard has done his entire career with the Edmonton Oilers or lower?
No,
or any of those 4 defensemen, Jason Smith, Matthias Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard. Is their careers as Edmonton Oilers better than the 1 season that Chris Pronger had with the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, for me, it's either Ekholm or Smitty well, I shouldn't call Jason Smith Smitty because that's Ryan's.
Gator.
There you go. Yeah, it's one of those two, Ekholm or Gator for me, that would come off the list. I mean, Ekholm's only been here a couple of years. He also got to a cup final, but it wasn't all on his shoulders. He played a big role, but it wasn't all on his shoulders. So I'd put Pronger over Ekholm for sure. Gator, captain, heart and soul guy, did all the dirty work. But again, he didn't put the team on his shoulders like Pronger did.
Yeah. No, if Pronger should be on there for what, like, especially like I think it would be remembered even more if they actually won the Stanley Cup that year too. But like. Yeah. Especially if you brought a Stanley Cup.
I'd also argue that Ryan Smith could be on the first team instead of Nuge.
I agree with that too.
There's an argument to be made. Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder if that one was then they just had, okay, we have McDavid and Draisaitl here. We had Horkov and Hemsky here. Let's just keep the arrows together.
Now, does the trade have anything to do with it?
That's a great point.
Rake.
Yeah, you want to know something? Point. If you're talking about the fight over $100,000 famously versus the one player right now who's looking to have a prolonged career, pillar to post,
longest standing
franchise.
Yeah.
That may have something to do with
the
it.
Tears in the press conference over the $1,000 or $100,000 difference. Like, I'm sorry, I wasn't buying it.
I mean, the man has more power play goals than anybody in the history of the Oilers franchise. I mean, when you have more power play goals than Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Yari Curry, and the bunch, that's a first teamer for me.
Fair.
Yeah.
Good with the goalies?
I'm good with the goalies.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much else that you can do with that.
Yeah.
Like, Rolly had a great playoffs. He was fine with the Oilers after that.
Yeah.
But, like, the Oilers then did miss a lot of playoffs and stuff. And there just hasn't been... Dude, if we could move the quarter century a couple more years, I'm sure Stuart Skinner will be in this list.
You
Absolutely.
took it right off the tip of my tongue. If it's the 30-year mark, then Stewart probably takes Salo off of there. And Rolly's earned his keep, though.
Yeah, and Skinner will go to, I think, probably first team. And Rolly down to second. If it was a top 30.
What about Cam Talbot
If they win a cup?
Sammy Salo or Tommy Salo?
I was thinking about Curtis Joseph too. Like he basically.
He was the 90s though, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I guess that's
He's
too long ago.
Too long ago.
Yeah.
But
I
Cam
was gonna say 'cause
Talbot,
he won, like, two
he's
series by
got the
himself,
single
but-
season record for most wins.
Yeah.
He beat Grant and Fuhr at that.
Yeah.
Right, and he took the team to the first playoff appearance in over a decade and led him to the second round. So
Yeah.
there's an argument there over Salo.
So there's the Oilers again. First team: David,
Klefbom?
Draisaitl, Nuge,
I don't know.
with Bouchard, Nurse, and Rolison, Barkov, Hemsky, Ryan Smith, with Ekholm, Smith, and Salo.
Well, I think Klefbom would have taken Nurse out if he kept playing.
Or Bouchard.
Well, no, he would have been on the second team if anything, or those guys would have been dropped down based on this
Yeah.
ordering.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. Like
Klefbom would have been ahead of Ekholm. If
think-
Klefbom was, because
'Cause
Ekholm hasn't
Ekholm
been here
wouldn't
as I know he wouldn't have been.
yeah, he would have been here.
That's very fair.
So there you go. There's the first and second team of the Edmonton Oilers. Can't really. The forwards they crushed.
Yeah.
They got the forwards absolutely right. Like there's no one else that should be on that list over those four guys.
Yeah, those are the same.
I think
six
Yakupov
guys.
was robbed.
How so? Defend your argument.
No. He can slide on his knees.
The only other people like Hall could have been in there, but never. I don't
Tell
think
Jackie that.
He didn't do
Right.
anything.
it wasn't at
when he
that.
was here.
I'm just trying to think who else.
Jackie
maybe
would want
throw
Nurse
into
on the
this.
wing for the all-time team. But
Yeah.
Based on longevity and like that, the 25 years. There's really no one else
Yeah,
that I think that you would consider almost that it's like, yeah, no, these guys. Who said Josh Archibald? It's from Heavy Hockey
I was
Network.
going to say, this has to be Michael. He
Well, it's from
absolutely-
Heavy Hockey Network.
Yeah, this is Michael. Yeah, he just thought Archibald was the wrecking ball.
You need a guy that can hit.
I mean, if this is Michael, then Corey Perry's on the team too, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He's the biggest Corey Perry fan in the world.
Tomorrow, we eagerly await the Utah Hockey Club and their quarter century. It better be just the 1 year. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they have 3 months to choose from. That's it. Not even January. They can't choose from this past month. They only, because it says till December 31st, 2024. I want a team that has 0 Coyotes. It better not have any of that history, because they even said, and Arizona Coyotes. I demand that the Utah Hockey Club only has this year's team on it.
Congrats to Dylan Gunther, second-year player,
Yes.
making the all-franchise team for the last 25 years.
Who's their goalie right now? Like,
I'm not
both
sure.
their goalies. They start first team, second team. Congratulations, boys. You've earned it.
They're trying to trade them both out of there right
Yeah,
now.
congrats
but
for Milka.
All-time team.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Oh, tomorrow, Utah. This is going to be outstanding. This is going to be wonderful. I can't wait.
The full 2 hours tomorrow.
We're supposed to do an EST draft tomorrow.
Oh, that's right,
Gonna have to throw that out the window. Sorry, we're breaking down the Utah hockey, also a quarter century team from NHL.com.
Tomorrow you'll be
Less than a
breaking.
year.
Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow you'll be breaking down the most 25 or the all handsome team for the Oilers for the last 25 years.
There are some really handsome Oilers.
Hey, I'm gonna go right back to Klefbom
It'd be, yeah.
or his twin Broberg.
Oh yeah, Sheldon Surrey is going to be the favorite
Oh,
from the
yeah.
Edmonton Oilers.
Oh yeah, yep. Married a WWE superstar.
Did he now?
Did he?
Mhm.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying Raw and on Netflix? How has that gone?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they basically had a WrestleMania for their debut show there, and we had the Rumble this weekend, and yeah, it's good. It's okay.
Just okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
I
the
believe
product as a whole kind of is annoying me right now. But
I believe they have seen better numbers on Netflix. That they're outright seeing just better numbers. Because a lot of people thought Netflix was dying when they announced the password sharing would end, and they saw more money come in, and now they're jacking up prices again. But
when it's
they've also seen people like on WWE, more people are watching it. So we'll see what happens with that. That's kind of the future of sports here. And we'll have to see what happens with hockey, because that ends after next season, I believe.
I think so,
Their national deals?
The Sportsnet
Oh, is it
deal,
really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's coming up. And if I recall correctly, when they announced the Sportsnet 12-year deal, it was during that season. Trying to remember when it was. It was like a February, I think. So we're within the next year. Like negotiations, if they haven't already begun, they're starting with the NHL's offices. We're going to slowly maybe hear a little bit of rumblings of what's going to happen with that. I'm going to be fascinated. I would be stunned if they go fully with Sportsnet again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean, we're all seeing it with Amazon, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of the tip of the iceberg. The ESPN deal in the States, they've got streaming going on ESPN Plus, right? It's like, you're right. It's the future of sports. It's where it's going.
The Amazon deal, like that was Sportsnet, I think also signaling we can't afford the entire package anymore.
Yeah.
We have to sublet the Monday nights now to Amazon for a couple of years. They're going to own that. It's just going to be who does TSN jump in for anything, or is it just a bunch of streaming services that are also going to jump in with Sportsnet?
Am I dreaming this, or did Sportsnet announce the regional deal with the Oilers somewhat recently?
Yeah, they extended that one.
Yeah,
so the
but it's
Oilers,
not
so
the
that's
national.
like 50 some games or whatever. The Edmonton Oilers will be on Sportsnet,
Okay.
but it's those national games, and the Oilers, as long as you have McDavid and Leon, there's going to be a lot of national games. It's those where you're going to need right now you need Sportsnet, CB/CBC, and Amazon if you want to watch every single Oiler game.
Right.
Without, I don't know how the center ice and all that stuff works. Beyond that, if they go to TSN, Sportsnet, Amazon Prime, and one more, you might need upwards of 4.
That's like what Blackhawks fans are dealing with right now. Right, a lot of their games are hitting on different streaming platforms, and like viewership's going down because the team sucks. The honeymoon phase with Bedard is over.
Yeah.
Right?
The regional deal was 11 years. Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you're Sportsnet with that one, like you lock in with the Oilers as much as you can because
course.
they've got Connor, they've got Leon. That's some nice regional money for you right there. That was the only reason I was more surprised about the 11 years with that one was I've always envisioned with Oilers Plus that they were going to transition there. But I think what happened is through some of the preseason games and stuff, the Oilers have realized the cost that it takes to put on a game. That it isn't just easy to, here's a couple cameras. Like there's a lot that goes into broadcasting those games, and maybe they're going, it's probably easier just to have someone pay us to do this as opposed to we pay for it and then we sell our own subscriptions and we make money that way.
Yeah. Michael's back in on the chat saying the Sportsnet deal can't end soon enough.
He hates the app.
The app is awful.
Is it?
Oh,
Like,
man.
I have it, and it's never. I haven't had many issues with it, but like talking to Michael and Josh, Tough Call Pod, give him a follow. They always have issues. Like you go to watch the game later because you can watch it within 24 hours. Like, you don't have to watch it live, and then you'll turn it on, and then it'll suddenly skip to the live.
Oh.
Yeah. Or you can pause it and say, I'll come back to this. And then it's like it goes back to the beginning and things like that. So, yeah, a lot of people get the games ruined for them because you think you're going to start at the beginning and see the puck drop and you're like, glitch. Oh, it's 10 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, so that gets frustrating, but I've only had that happen to me once or twice.
I don't know if they fixed it, but I remember when soccer moved to Fubo, there was issues because if you wanted to go watch a replay, they'd show you the score as like the thumbnail picture. And people are like, why? I was trying not to know the score.
Yeah.
And you're immediately showing me the score. No, it was Apple. I think Apple, actually, with MLS. That's what it was with their deal. And people are like, I want to just go watch this game. I haven't watched it. I don't want to know the score. And before I could click it, you're showing me the damn score. Like, can you
Right on the
not
thumbnail.
show that to us?
Arsenal.
Right? Like, can you just show the game and I can click it so I can just watch it? And I know that was an issue with them.
Give me the date.
To Bronco Nick, went up by the center ice package, earn all the games there. And I'm trying, and I could be wrong, so somebody will correct me. If I'm not mistaken, if it's in your local region, there are blackouts.
Yeah, there's blackouts.
Yeah, so if you're buying the city of Edmonton, the package, it gets you out of market games. But when it comes to Oilers and Flames, it doesn't get you those games.
Yeah.
Because the point of the package is so you can watch the other hockey games. But you have to, that's why there's the regional rights deal, is that the Oilers own the region and they make money off of it, and it's not through that other way. So unless they change that or are going to change that,
Center ice is great for the out of province Oilers diehards.
yes.
Yeah.
And if you're a Bruins fan in the city of Edmonton,
Sure.
that's what it's for. So you can go watch the Bruins hockey and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting little next couple of years when it comes to the TV rights, because it's also the CFL rights are up after next season. They got 2 more years on TSN, I believe. So we'll see what happens with the NHL and the CFL rights. Just maybe get used to the streaming.
Questions in the nasty chat whether EST is going to bid for the national TV deal.
CFL maybe. Would that be something?
Wouldn't it?
No, we won't. We don't have that money. I wish. Unless we start a GoFundMe and see if we can raise the millions, hundreds of millions that the.
Or if you're interested in sponsoring, just please DM Matthew Iwanyk.
We'll get into that. Yeah, Andrew, I'll just say a VPN is cheaper than NHL Center Ice. There are a lot of ways that things can be done cheaper. IPTV, for anyone that's aware of those ones.
AM radios.
Listening to it? Cam does a great job.
Yeah, sure.
Cam's awesome. Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout. Oh, Michael's pitching in $5. Awesome. We're like 0.00001 away of the percent of the way there. We're getting closer.
We're gonna make it.
We've got a year to do this.
Heavy Hockey gets a logo on for that $5, by the way.
It will be a joint partnership there.
Can we go bid them for 10?
We'll do every single EST broadcast. We'll just have one of those names. We'll just do a full scroll of all the names that help support us. The EST Hangout portions of this hour brought to you by the Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out. thehiveproductmarketing.com. We've got it's underneath your chair there. That bounced pretty good. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. On the show today from Heavy Hockey, we got Patrick, we got Dash, we got Ryan, Matt Iwanyk with you here as well. Your thoughts, always welcome in the Nasty Chat or the Paris Jewelers inbox, which is 780-218-9999. Oilers, Red Wings. Oilers just going to get it done tonight?
I think so. Why not? It's the Red Wings are struggling. They don't have
won
any
3 straight, man.
Have they?
They have.
Oh, I thought I heard they'd lost 7 of the last 9 or something like that. Maybe I was
They started off
daydreaming,
hot with Todd McClellan.
They've been streaky under McClellan. They lost 1-7. Then I think they lost 3 out of 4 or something, and then they've won 3 straight.
Oh, okay.
When was Todd
I probably heard
hired?
that 3 days ago or was 3 games ago. But who's going to score on that team? When you're comparing lineups and they've got 2 20-goal scorers and an 11-goal scorer in the lineup, and Leon's got more than that combined. You know what I mean?
Like my worry is that you've got Todd McClellan coming into his old barn. I don't know if Talbot's getting the start tonight or not.
Probably.
But I'd be surprised if he didn't. Right? Motivated.
Or Jack Campbell.
Throw Campbell in there for the backup. Why not?
Split the time between the two of them. Hey. I like preseason. One gets the 10-minute mark of the second period.
First whistle after the 10-minute mark.
They'll make a change.
Of course, watch Jack Campbell shut us out or something.
Wow.
And then why didn't Neckholm skate yesterday?
He's got the flu.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's been something going around a little bit.
There's been something going around. So you got a Red Wings team that's won 3 straight with a new coach that's motivated to come into his old barn. You got the goaltender that's motivated coming into his old barn. I'm a little worried about this one.
Go buy a Red Wings hat on the way home.
Oh,
I'm not.
I have a buddy who's gonna love that comment from me if he's a big Red Wings fan. But Oilers fan through and through. But I gotta be objective. We're not gonna win 82, and there's gonna be the odd game where something bad happens, and I'm just getting the bad feeling about this one.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, we've also won 3 straight, so
Fair enough.
And our 3 straight's better than their 3 straight, except one against Buffalo.
If we didn't have the flu going through our room,
yeah, no, that's fair. But
hey. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm just interested to see if Klingberg's in tonight and what kind of difference that makes. And
Yeah. And I don't think we'll know probably until a little bit later on in the day. But if the flu is still going through the team and Ekholm's still suffering, that could be a good reason to bring Klingberg in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they had an optional skate today. I'm going to try to see if I can quickly find if there's any sort of news from it. Because
They'd probably be on the ice right now.
I'd be over by now because it's at 7 o'clock. So I would assume Knobloch would be speaking right now. Or
just while you're looking to Andrew in the nasty chat, he asked if Campbell's still in the player assistance program, and I believe he's out now and back with the team. I just don't think he's skated or started or played.
Yeah, no, I checked last night. He hasn't played a game
Okay.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Alex Lyon, who's
Right.
still it's him and Talbot. That's kind of the duo right now.
Right.
Tandem.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything as of yet, so I'll keep an eye on that. If you've seen it, please jump in the nasty chat with it. As for the Red Wings, so they lost their first game with McClellan to the Leafs, but then they won 7 straight. After that 7 straight, they lost 1, won 1. Then they lost 3 straight, but then they've won 3 straight. So that streakiness is kind of there right now. So we'll see what happens. They are currently sitting.
They've peaked at 3.
They're 2 points back of a playoff spot.
And they're 11-4
So-
and 1 under McClellan.
Pretty good record.
I think the Oilers win tonight and then go undefeated in February.
Uh-oh.
Hey, big game
Here
on
we go
Saturday.
again.
Like, I wonder if this is one of those trap games for the Oilers. If you're looking for why maybe this could be a spot where the Oilers maybe aren't there, is like the Leafs are having a good season this year. They're right, top of the division, playing, and thankfully quietly good, because we're not having like TSN at Sportsnet shove it down our throats with how good Toronto is. It feels like.
Mhm.
Clearly, you're not listening.
Are you hearing
I don't
it?
think it ever stops, to be honest. But
I feel like with the fact that, like, when you look at the standings of the National Hockey League, the Panthers just passed them. Oh, the Leafs are maybe just dropping. Oh, they've lost 3 straight.
Yeah, the Leafs are struggling.
They're
this
struggling
week.
now.
oh,
Okay, well,
Matthews must be back.
They've only scored 1 goal in like 3 of those 4
Okay.
games or something like that. Like they're not hot.
Well, but there's a period of time where they were top of their division,
Yeah.
like top of the Eastern Conference. They were top 3, and I feel like if that was the case, we would be like hearing from TSN and Sportsnet, like, here's the play, bro. Like, what's like? And I feel like maybe I'm just not watching, but I feel like we haven't been beaten down with the Leafs coverage of this season. Maybe because they always expected that they would just start falling off like that.
Possible.
Yeah, I mean,
No point getting excited.
Leafs be leafing. Yeah.
So, but I want these two teams usually get up for each other. Leafs do really actually pretty well against the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, that's a difficult matchup for us. Traditionally, it's been a tough one for us.
What is our wins and losses against the Leafs? I thought we'd actually done really well. Doesn't Connor usually dominate in those games?
No, like I mean,
wanna
this
say
is
it's
going back to
500.
it's probably close to 500.
Is that right?
Like,
Oh, I would-
going
That's
back
my
to
guess.
the Kadri era, like Kadri shut McDavid down a couple times,
There was the Canadian bubble
and
where we've Leafs won 3 straight in the
Yeah.
course of a week.
at
So-
Rogers.
Right.
Hockey reference. I wonder how easy this is going to be to find. I'd have to maybe go year by year. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Hockey Reference would be tough to do that with. There's another site out there. I don't know, is it StatMuse? If you
That's
type
the,
it,
that's
if you
the
type
AI
in-
site. Yeah.
There's another site. You type in 2 teams head-to-head record, and it has it.
Okay, so the Oilers have an OT loss to the Leafs this year. Last year, the Oilers were 1-1 against the Leafs. The year prior to that, they were 1-1 against the Leafs. The year prior to that, they were 0-2 against the Leafs.
All right. It's not even close to 500. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 11-3-2 versus the Oilers since 2021.
Okay. So this is the all Canadian year. They were 3-5-1
Granted, most of those were from
against the
Canadian.
Leafs.
Yeah.
So the Leafs had won 6 of those 9 meetings. And I'll just go one more year. It was 1-1. So like the Oilers have not. When was the last time the Oilers swept the season series? Wasn't in 18-19 they got swept. They got swept in 17-18. They got swept in 16-17, which was McDavid's first year, if I'm not mistaken.
The second year.
Was it 15-16? They split in 14-15, and they're not doing it again this year. So they didn't win in 13. Well, now we're in Decade of Darkness, so this is going to be tough.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, they lost to everybody.
So it's like it's either like they'll split, or the Leafs have just a couple of years in there where they've taken on the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I guess I don't have that many. Yeah, 19-5-2 in the last 10 years versus the Oilers.
Ryan's right on the fact, like, it's the Kadri he's been one of the few players that has learned how to contain McDavid
Yeah.
in a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty excellent at getting under people's skin, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, like, I wonder if the Oilers looking, they see the game coming on Saturday. Does this become a little bit of that trap game?
I think they'll show up for Toronto. Like, I mean,
But does that mess with tonight? where they're thinking of Saturday.
Thinking ahead.
So they
Thinking
go
ahead.
into tonight, and this leads to the
Self-load
Red Wings
manage a bit.
catching the Edmonton Oilers tonight because the Oilers are focused a little too much on the Leafs.
The Oilers have had slow starts the last couple games, and they're not exactly against world beater teams. Like Buffalo, they started slow, and Seattle, they started slow. They eventually picked it up. Like I was watching those two games, watching them move the puck around like the Harlem Globetrotters at times. I'm like, they're doing whatever they want out here.
Yeah.
But there were some slow starts and some lapses. They're behind in both games,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know if Detroit is gonna be as easy to come back on as Buffalo and Seattle were, especially if we got the flu.
And Patrick Kane pretty much always scores against us.
He's hurt.
Oh, is he hurt? Okay, he's not going to score tonight then.
It's on the
Well,
other.
Lucas Raymond is having a heck of a year. What's he got? 56 or 57 points in the 50 games so far.
56, I think. Yeah.
56 in the 50 games, and Larkin's having a good year, nearly a point a game,
And that's
right
pretty much it.
And then it drops off after that.
It is. That's pretty
But
much it.
If you got a couple guys who are a point a game,
Yeah.
better than what they had before.
I mean, your second line is DeBrincat, Kopp, and whoever else is playing for Kane right now. I'm not sure, but like that's not exactly a world beater second line.
No, it's not. And if we're talking about a 7-game series here, Oilers win all day, but
Yeah.
on any given Sunday.
Any given
Yeah,
Sunday.
anyone can win one game. Yeah.
I think if they go nuclear option and they match lines, I don't know. That leaves a lot of space for our second, third, and fourth line against Detroit's. But
Yeah, I mean, you go up and down the lineup, do any sort of analytical comparison, the Oilers should win, right? It's just
Those are the games that you get the most worried.
well,
When you go and say the Oilers should win, I don't know why. It's just one like, oh boy, okay, what's going to go wrong tonight?
the team is famous for self-load managing. I mean, let's be honest. It's been a problem for a long time. But I think it kind of depends which players take the game off and how. Like I've said for a long time, like Draisaitl and McDavid can take a period or two off or even a game off and they still look damn good. It's when Evan Bouchard self-load managed. He just exposes himself so badly. Like he already doesn't have a lot of urgency, if you will. And when he's not potentially trying his hardest, I just feel like that urgency goes from 75 out of 100 to 0 real fast. So I don't know. I think they'll be fine.
Well, we'll see what happens. That's why we play the games.
That's
The
why
EST
we
Hangout
play the
presented by
games.
Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades, helping Canadians through life's transitions right now. 75% off 12 weeks, 5x5 units. That offer ends tomorrow. Check them out, sentinel.ca. Oh, I almost hit Brendan in the face with that one. Apologies for that, Brendan. Reminder, Super Bowl Sunday. It goes next Sunday, not this Sunday. This Sunday is the great famous Pro Bowl. It's the Pro Bowl. We got the skills competition and flag football. Who else is excited? Hands up. Hands up.
You're just excited because the Ravens will be in the game, or?
We've got a lot in this one.
Yeah, it's the Ravens versus the
got
NFC
9.
here.
No, I don't know last time I don't even know last time I threw on even a Pro Bowl game when they played the Pro Bowl game.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
I can't remember.
I've maybe caught like a quarter of it in my entire life.
It's
Like,
the
I'm
moment.
a football fan
It's
too.
the worst all-star
It's right when
game
you
out
see the
there.
hut and then the O line and the D line stand up and just look at each other. Basically, you're like, yeah, this isn't football.
Yeah.
This isn't this. There's no physicality in
They're
this
playing
one.
patty cake.
I'd be down for the skills comp and like a little flag football. Like I'd be into that.
R.I.P. Sean Taylor, who destroyed that one punter, though, that one game, which was just a famous play. So thank you, Sean Taylor. I think University of Miami as well. But you can join us, Century Casino. Maybe you can join us, Century Casino, Fort Road, for the Super Bowl with the under $10 food and drink menu. Prizes every quarter. Enter to win for your share of $1,000 in prizes. The reasons I say maybe is when I was talking to Renee earlier this week from Century, there weren't a lot of spots left. Basically, there was some seating in the horse tracking area next to like where the sports bar is. So if you haven't reserved your table, you're going to want to get on that right away. edm.centurysports@cnty.com to try to get your reservation. But chances are that they might be full. So they can maybe give you ideas of if there's another spot, we can have you there or something. But try to join us for the Super Bowl on Sunday, February 9th. At Century Casino. With that, I saw face value ticket pricing for the Super Bowl from Darren Ravel on Twitter just now. The face value tickets for this year's Super Bowl range from $950 to $7,500. That's the value.
Wow.
What would you spend? What sporting event would you spend $7,500 on?
Oh, will I get to see Taylor Swift?
I'm saying, if you want, maybe. If you spend, I'm saying here's
Does my $7,500 ticket get me to see the Swifties and Taylor?
Well, you could go see a Taylor Swift show, I guess. But if I gave you
It might cost more
$7,500,
than $7,500.
well, if I gave you, I guess, $15,000 for 2 tickets, what would you go spend that on instead of pocketing that money I gave you?
It's got to be an event where the whole world is watching. So Super Bowl would qualify, like a World Cup final.
World Cup, yeah.
I think those are kind of the only. Those would be the 2 biggest ones. It's like that. That's where I'd go.
I don't know if I would enjoy the Super Bowl in person.
Yeah,
There'd be a lot of dignitary, like there's all the free tickets and stuff, and I don't know how good of an atmosphere the game would be.
I was actually in Vegas last year when the game was happening. Like, so my buddies and I, we did a Cali trip, followed the Oilers through Anaheim and LA. Did a Clippers game that day as well. Then we took a bus overnight from LA to Vegas, which is not recommended. There were stories, but anyway. So like we pull into Vegas Sunday morning at like 6, 7 a.m. somewhere in there. And we've got a spot at Topgolf set up, which that ended up being amazing. Like we had a certain amount we had to spend as a group and just sampled every drink on the menu, ordered the platters, like heck of a time watching the game. You had the Sphere in the background. It was incredible, but we missed out on all the Super Bowl festivities. They shut it down on the Saturday. It's like walking the strip, it was dead. It was absolutely dead.
Sam, a few of us went, Tommy, Dusty, Eric, and I went down for the Oilers Vegas game, which was the Tuesday before the Super Bowl.
You guys were there right before.
So we were there, but we left on the Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was weird because like we flew in Monday, we left on the Thursday. On like the Tuesday, Wednesday, we didn't especially the Tuesday, we didn't feel like the Super Bowl was in town. It was like, there's not a lot of people. Like, and then by the time Thursday we were walking around, okay, we're like, Super Bowl is here.
Okay.
Like we felt it on the Thursday, like, okay, now this is going to get going. It's interesting though that it's like, okay, well then come Sunday, that's like, there's nothing almost.
It was like an hour before game time, like because you had to have a reservation at any bar.
Yes.
Right. So an hour before game time is when people started kind of making their appearances on the street.
I think it probably has to be some sort of hypothetical situation
For to spend that 15
Yeah,
grand.
right. Like, I mean, Matthew Iwanyk has Italy and Ukraine in the FIFA finals.
Oh, that would hurt.
Well,
I guess actually, no, I wouldn't. I've seen them play each other.
You know, or something like that.
I would,
right?
I would do a World Cup final, but like, because I know for the most part, like they have supporter sections,
Right.
and I'd want to be by those supporter sections where I know there's a good atmosphere with.
Right. Yeah.
I would love courtside seats to an NBA Finals game.
Yeah.
Just because there are like stars there. And it'd be cool. Be like, hey, who are you? Don't worry about it. Nice to meet you. You know,
Spike Lee, what's up? Not that the Knicks are ever going to get there, but maybe like the Olympics winter hockey finals, if it's Canada, US or something like that.
Yeah, gold medal.
In Canada or, you know, I don't know.
Like the gold medal game in basketball in the States in LA would be cool. Assuming the Americans are going to get there, because why wouldn't
they'll
they?
get there.
Yeah.
Canada versus USA in the
That I don't
Olympic
need to see them
basketball
trounce
finals.
Canada.
You know?
I don't think I would pay 7,500, but I would pay a lot to go see a 100-meter final.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be another one where the whole world is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
That's the marquee, I think, of Summer Olympics. Like when I think
Absolutely.
Summer Olympics, I think 100-meter men's final. Like we're going to say the world's fastest person. Like just straight up.
We were just in Jamaica, actually. We cruised into Falmouth, and that's where Usain Bolt is from.
Oh, wow.
Man, they are so proud of that guy. Like, it is part of every bit of their speech.
Nice, as it should be.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah.
You have
Absolute
anything,
goat.
Patrick?
I really only care about the Oilers.
So Oilers Stanley Cup final,
Oilers
basically.
Stanley
then.
Cup final, yeah,
where were you in Game 7 this year?
Austin Matthews just named captain for Team USA at the Four Nations.
Oh, not shocked.
When's Canada being announced? Coming up in the next couple of hours or so. I don't know if it's at noon or if it's at 11.
Is it today? Yeah.
They're rolling it out
Roster
today. It was
announcements.
one an hour. So Hedman's been named the captain for Sweden. Barkov was named the captain for Finland.
sense.
So Canada's coming up soon, and it will be announced that probably Sidney Crosby. If it's not Sidney
Crosby,
Crosby, that would be a stunner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go. Ryan Rishaug. Oh, also Patrick Henry from CBC, and so does Daniel Nugent-Bowman. Full credit. Klingberg will make his debut for the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
Jeff Skinner comes back into the lineup, says Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic, for Kasperi Kapanen.
Oh, because he's sick.
Because he's sick, yeah. It's not because he earned it.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is according to Chris Knobloch. So, yes.
Even though he kind of earned it.
Oh, okay. Tom Gazzola here from EST.
Oh,
John Klingberg will make his debut tonight according to Knobloch. Expect him to rotate in with a couple different partners as well. That's what was
That
added.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I kind of viewed him in that Stetcher role where he'll get some time with Nurse, he'll get some time with Emberson on the third pair or Kulak, right? Like he'll rotate around.
Who was he paired with in practice again? I forget. Ekholm?
I can't even remember. And Ekholm was out yesterday.
Oh, yeah, right.
I can't even remember. It was
I think
Nurse
it was
Bouchard.
I think it was Kulak he was with.
Was it?
Klingberg.
Or
It was
I thought
Nurse Stetcher.
Kulak Emberson.
Kulak Emerson. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right. Ryan's right.
I like hearing that. Can you
Bouchard
say that again?
Just record, clip that later. Keep that on like your phone, so on your show, whenever you say, "Oh, yeah," click it, and it'll just always be him saying, "You're right."
He's always calling me crazy, so he probably is right. But.
So yesterday was Nurse Bouchard, Kulak, Klingberg, Stetcher, Emberson.
Oh, it was Kulak Klingberg. Okay.
That's what Tony Brower had yesterday for Wednesday's practice, but there was no Kapanen or Ekholm on the ice.
Ryan, you were wrong.
Oh, sorry, it was Kulak?
Yeah, so
Patrick Phillips was right. Oilers Fanatic on YouTube. Like and subscribe
Thanks for being a fan.
for all your Oilers content.
And thoughts for tonight. Oh, Matt Kachuk in the nasty chat. I was robbed. I am the USA. So he wishes he was the captain of this team. I was always going to be Austin Matthews.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's
He's the chosen one.
well, it should be Crosby. It's Crosby until Crosby doesn't want it or doesn't want to be on the team anymore, or isn't on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
if you go to 26 and Crosby goes, you want to know something? I want to pass the mantle personally to Connor McDavid. Then there's that. But until Crosby's done, it's his.
If the GM tries to give Connor McDavid the captaincy, he's gonna decline.
100%. Or it'll be like, what did Crosby say? It's always going to go back to him, and then it should be.
Yeah.
He's the elder statesman. He's been doing it longer.
Yeah.
He's won for Canada and stuff, so it's his until it's no longer his, and then after that, it'll be McDavid's until McDavid's done.
Yeah, I can see a scenario where Crosby wears the C in the Nations and then maybe passes the torch to McDavid at the next Olympics or something.
As McDavid leads them to a gold medal.
And I pay $7,500 for tickets to watch.
But you'd also be in Italy, which would be great.
That
Get
would
some
be
skiing
cool.
in.
That would be amazing.
And that's, I don't even know what's going on with that rink, but it's going to be a small rink too.
Oh, is that
if I'm
right?
not mistaken. I don't think it's a big rink that they're building for
It's
for
going
the
to go in
Olympics.
NHL size.
Well, like for seating.
Not like
Oh,
the
for
bird's
seating
nest
wise.
in China that
I
ended
don't
up
think
just
it's going to be big.
getting
What do
decapitated.
we got?
after.
Venues. The ice hockey new. Oh no, that one's so there was the one rink is 12,000. The other one's going to be 16,000.
That's no mullet
So,
arena.
I wish I was at a game at Mullet Arena.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool. Just once.
Just once.
for the atmosphere, for the
The
vibe.
experience.
Yeah.
It would have been intimate, but like college party vibe too. So like it would have been really fun.
I remember talking to Dan Nugent-Bowman of The Athletic because I was asked how was like his experience as a writer because there was no real press box, and like our press box for here at Rogers, it's up high, where the people are sitting right in front of you. So like when a goal would happen, everyone stand up and they can't see the reporters anymore. Like it's blocked. Like that's how close you are to the fans and stuff. So I thought that would have been a really cool atmosphere. And I know like Yaremchuk went twice,
Oh, okay.
if I'm not mistaken. He went once for I think both Oilers. He was there for the last game, if I'm not mistaken, at Mullet.
Oh yeah.
He bought some tickets for that one. So which was such a sad game to watch. Like the ending, watching like actually like there were Arizona's not a hockey market, although the NHL is going to try to get back there.
I'm sure.
There are still hockey fans there, and seeing them lose their team.
Doesn't Gary Bettman have to retire soon?
He says,
Didn't that they
he's making
planted
plans.
that seed last week? I
Oh,
think,
right.
too,
Something
within
came out
the
of that
last couple
podcast or
years.
something. And
Yeah.
they should start planning for an NHL without Gary Bettman.
Right.
Which means I
Like 75 years old.
yeah. Well,
Is he that old?
Bill
Yes.
Daly's not that much. Bill Daly's like 60 something. Bill Daly's 60. Gary Bettman, I want to say 73.
I think he's 75.
72.
Oh, is
So
he?
it'll be 73 in June.
75.
It'll be fascinating to see what the National Hockey League chooses to do, if they just want to continue the same with Bill Daly, or if they want to be creative and try to get something new going.
Would Bill Daly view that as a slap in the face?
100%. Bill Daly
for
would be
sure.
gone. But if you're going and let's say they poach someone from the NFL, that person doesn't want Bill Daly around necessarily.
No.
They might want him for a year, be like, teach me the NHL or the business, but also Bill Daly might be, I'm not going to stay here. And it's okay. Well, I don't have you in my long-term plans anyways, because we're doing things differently and you're part of the old stuff.
Yeah.
I also don't see the NHL owners wanting to be that innovative.
Yeah.
Fair.
Very fair.
Actually, when you go to the history of commissioners changing, Paul Tagliabue's like right-hand man was Roger Goodell, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
David Stern's right-hand man was Adam Silver.
Yep.
I believe Bud Selig's right-hand man was Rob Manford.
Manford, yeah.
Just trying to think what other commissions we've seen in the top. Am I missing anything right
I
now?
can't think of any off the top of my
It
head.
was the NHL actually, though, Gary Bettman was from, the NBA.
Yeah.
Grabbed him.
Yeah.
So
But like your incumbent isn't going to be, how old is Daly?
60. So if
You're going to bring your incumbent in at 62 years old?
well, it'll be a couple of years or something.
Like,
You get 10 years out of Bill Daly, continue what's going.
I think the only way that happens is exactly what you said, is if there's some sort of transition period. But if they're smart about it, they would give the incumbent some time with Bettman, really, not Daly.
Yeah. Although, so Bettman, I think the things Bettman will want to cross off his list before he's done is the new CBA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'll want to do the new TV deal. And then I do wonder about Arizona. And I'm not trying to joke about that one, but we've already heard the rumblings
precedent
of
is
them
there.
wanting to go back.
It's one of the largest markets in the States, right?
It's that they want to just get new ownership.
Scottsdale.
And in the end, it's one of those that we've heard the NHL wanting to expand again.
Yeah.
Is that going to be Gary Bettman's swan song, which is welcome back Atlanta, welcome back Phoenix, sayonara?
I
don't know if they'd go crazy and also say Houston and someone else and do 4 at once or something like that, but is that going to be his swan song?
I'd put
Those are the
money on
3
that.
I think
Yeah.
he'd want.
Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tiffany, they're going to transition to Gary Bettman to AI, and he'll only give verbal interviews. We'll get an AI Gary Bettman moving forward.
Can they keep Bettman's voice for that, though? Or,
You'd
they
have
could.
to.
or
It's AI, man.
maybe they bring in Morgan Freeman or something like that? you know?
Oh, we want Gary Bettman.
Can we use AI for player safety then while we're at it? Or
They might be more
Yeah,
consistent.
that might be better.
Anything would be better. Yeah.
yeah, you have to think.
Matt Iwanyk saying, will they or have they announced the A's? Never mind, I saw the post with the A's. Oh, so they are announcing the assistants with it as well. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that one as well to see. Because, okay, Canada assistants. Let's say you're naming 2.
Like
McDavid?
McDavid, Marchand, maybe.
Somebody on
You
defense.
think it'd go back to another vet?
I think so. Why are they going with someone super young?
Peter Angelo. Just
McKinnon?
kidding.
The other names, it'd be McKinnon or Makar. Do you
Right.
start the transition to the
Makar.
next generation?
That's
with
my
this?
pick. Yeah.
Or do you go, okay, we're going to go one vet that's been here and one, I want to call him newer vet in McDavid, but on the
Yeah.
international scene,
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
I'd say like we'd probably go with guys who are captains of their club teams. I think that would make sense, right? So we got, I think Marchand is captain in Bruin or in Boston. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
McKinnon,
hmm
McDavid.
Sometimes you got to throw an A on D, right? It's about who's out on the ice too. That's the people that have to talk to the referee during the game. So it's not always just your forwards. It's certainly not 3 guys on one line, right?
Theoretically. So do you default to the most skilled in Makar?
Or passing the torch. He's going to be on the ice the most on D.
Actually, one thing that will play into this, I don't know, and, Matt Hyman said I hadn't seen the US A's yet, so maybe there isn't A's. If Drew Doughty goes
Mm.
as
what
a
I was
potential
thinking.
There you
replacement,
go.
Yep.
Yeah,
he'd be a natural one too to replace
absolutely.
with
Yeah.
DA. Put him there. You got the defender, and there's because Pietrangelo would have been one.
I think so.
100%. Like I think he
I think
you
so.
have the case because you want that guy that's been around, that vet
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
Drew Doughty, he was 18 or whatever it was in 2010. Like this
Yeah.
guy's been playing for Canada on the international stage for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll hold off maybe even on the A if they have to, because Doughty might get one of those.
I mean, we talked about this in the pod last night. I'm curious what your opinion is, Matty, but like your opinions on, Peter Angelo not playing in this game and, should he have a 1-game suspension like Ovechkin for not playing in the All-Star games, or should he be shameful of his patriotic nature? I have this take. I don't want any of the Oilers playing in the Four Nations Cup for any country. It's not a best on best tournament. It's a glorified all-star game as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I'm going to watch it. I'll probably enjoy it. But if this is the Oilers' year, why risk it?
I said a while ago that like we go in the lead up to the picking of the teams, as like I think Oilers fans should hope that a Hyman's not there, a Skinner's not there, and ended up Bouchard not there because they get the rest. Leon's not going to be there. We knew that right off the bat. So it was like, get the rest. From a fan perspective and all of that, I agree with you from your personal teams. From a business perspective, you can't have too many of these guys blowing it because the NHL and the NHLPA are trying to build something here.
Sure. And they're splitting costs, right? Or revenues.
The revenue, this is the tee up because in 28, they're going to do the World Cup together and they're pushing the IIHF aside. And the goal is long term to make people care more about the World Cup of hockey than the Olympics because they have to get money from the IOC for that, or they have to go to they want their own thing now.
Yep.
And to do that, you then need commitment from both sides. If you are the players and you want revenue to go up, you want your salaries to go up. Like here's the other thing from a fan base I will actually say is
get rid of escrow.
Well, like you want these tournaments to be successful quick here. Because if there's more money, revenue coming in, the cap's going to go up a little bit more, which means the Oilers could go sign someone else a little bit more or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be the other flip side. You want this. So, and if the Stars don't go, there's not going to be the interest and there's not going to be that added revenue.
Yep.
So there's that give and take here where you need it to be successful. You need it to go well, but don't take everyone with you and fingers crossed everyone's fine and it's all good.
Yeah. We don't want anybody from any team to get hurt, but well, maybe Vegas.
Ekholm has been named as an assistant for Sweden. Ekholm Karlsson and Nylander for Sweden. Aho, Granlund, and Rantanen for Finland, says Matt Hyman. So you might have 2 assistants from the city of Edmonton or from the Edmonton Oilers at the Four Nations.
That says a lot about our team.
2 assistants from the Carolina Hurricanes on
the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
The
official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend in 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Longdrink.com/can is where you can go enter the postal code and find a liquor store nearest you with the long drink in stock. Or if you're heading to the game tonight, you could go pick it up as they have a nice partnership with OEG. And you can get the long drink at Rogers Place. Just a few more minutes left here on the Hangout. Reminder once again, Heavy Hockey Showdown will be taking place March 15th. You will hear more about it. If you want to play in the event, if you want to go play, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, click at the top. HH Showdown is there. Click that. There's the registration form. And you also just make sure you mention which team you want to play for. Maybe
Brandon, do you play hockey? Oh.
Maybe you want to play for Team EST?
Maybe
you want to play for...
Or you want to play for a winner. You know, whatever.
Maybe you want to be on a team where I will be there on the bench yelling at you and giving it to you if you're not giving it all for Team EST.
Or maybe you have enough of that every day at the studio.
So it's a fun time. Less than 10 spots left, says Michael.
I was just going to say that. That's why I asked about it once we...
Perfect, because I'm going to have to eat up a few of those spots right away.
Well, I think we were accounting for 4, but maybe not 5, so... I think that's less than 10 spots after the 5 EST guys.
I'm just counting like who, because we had a meeting and who's able to do it.
Oh, okay.
And then I was going to ask a couple more people.
Well, last year was Tommy, Dusty, Zach, and Trevor. Those were the 4.
First 3 can do it.
Not Trevor this year?
Trev can't. We could talk a little after. I have 2 more.
Oh, God.
I
don't like surprises.
No, like my brother's jumping in.
Oh, that's fine.
Tommy's brother's going to jump in.
Okay.
So I've got a few extra. Belzy's up in the air.
Okay.
Because he's waiting for a schedule for something else. And then there was a couple more.
Gager couldn't go this year, hey?
So he does say this is after the EST crew. But then I have if you guys were banking on 4, I might need a couple more on that. So there's
get them in there.
We're getting them in there. But yeah, so just a few spots left. It's a great time. March 14th, we'll get together and watch the Oiler game at Boston Pizza as they are in New York, the Long Island, to take on the Islanders. And then on the 15th, there'll be a fun, few hours of playing hockey or watching hockey, all in the support of a great cause, which is SACE, the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. You guys have been doing great stuff with that. So it's fun to be part of it with you guys. You guys do great work with that. So it will be fun. Also, Oilers Live, you can catch it right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. Plus, go to heavyhockey.com.
Heavyhockey.com.
Great articles written there. You fill out, I know that. I don't know, are you writing articles, or because I know you're newer to?
Yeah, I do videos. So
You do the videos?
Yeah, I have my own channel, the Oilers Fanatic, YouTube at Oilers Fanatic, and then I've started doing my Oilers Rundown. Kind of my new show that I do on my channel. I've been doing it with Heavy Hockey as well, and started a new Call Me Crazy segment where we're doing videos there, and join the Oilers Live podcast and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a great start so far.
We'd love to have them. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
What's the latest with the writing?
So I put out a little piece just referring to Dash's tweet about Saad meeting with the Oilers last night. I'm trying to put out new content every week. You can follow me at Lots Ryan on Twitter. And I've also got, I'm posting videos about, with some information about SACE and what they offer. And I'm doing some fitness training to attach to my fundraising for SACE this year. So I got weekly updates on that on my Twitter at Lots Ryan. So if you want to donate or follow along, you can do so there. And that's where I'm posting my articles every week. So yeah, that's where you can see me.
Yeah. We may be battling coaches, you and I, this year. I've got a spot right now saved for me, but my shoulder keeps telling me and whispering in my ear that it doesn't want me to play. So, maybe you and I can argue through the glass and, have another donut Iwanyk, that kind of stuff.
They'll be one-sided, that's all I'll say.
You have to get the glass.
I'll
shaking
teach you.
Who was that? It was like Boudreaux and Patrick Watt or something like that.
Yeah, if I don't see a Watt-style glass climb, then.
You have nothing on my gum chewing. Your gum chewing abilities cannot match my gum chewing abilities.
And I know I can't match your in-period pump-up speeches either, because that was also pretty epic.
And just let me know if you guys are going to meet in the locker rooms below and have like a big fight. I think get the camera down there because we got to capture that.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, much fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
Better get into the gym myself right now. And
maybe
pick up a little bit. So
Get
which shoulder?
strength.
Which shoulder's not good? which one's bothering you there?
both.
It will be both.
Predictions for tonight. What do you guys got?
I'm going to go 3-2 Oilers.
Ooh, Oilers with the under. All right.
Okay, 3-2. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else that doesn't work.
6-1 Oilers.
6-1.
Oof.
Do they fall down 1-0?
Nope.
Okay.
It'd be like 3-0 before they let the Red Wings get one in there, and Klingberg probably gets like 2 points in his debut.
Wouldn't that be something? Wow, great. And all of a sudden we're going to have the comments about him replacing Bouchard on the power play and trade Bouchard because Klingberg's here.
We've already
Those
seen
comments
some of
are
that.
already
I know,
coming.
but that's the thing. If it's game 1, 2 goals, like it's our 2 point. Okay, that's all we're going to hear. It's going to be the full trade proposals of Bouchard coming in.
Yeah. I'm going to go 4-2 Red Wings, empty netter. A tight game up until the end, but Red Wings get the empty netter. I'm calling it.
I'll just be out there slashing your tires before you can get to your car. That's no problem.
I don't do predictions. Brandon, you got one? I'll yell it in for you. 4-3 Oilers.
OT?
No, he was
Regulation.
very calm right there, just going,
Confident. Confident. You know what? This was my pick. 4-3 Oilers. Still the over. He's just too confident. Like that's...
He's set. He knows. Gents, really appreciate you guys coming in. This was a fun
thanks for
hangout
having
here.
us.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us. Appreciate it.
We'll have to do it again soon, and we'll have to do something in advance. The Heavy Hockey Showdown, which will be a fun time. It is a great time. Keep it locked, Edmonton Sports Talk or the Heavy Hockey Network, as we'll keep you updated on everything that's going on or ways for you to donate or come support it. That's all still to come. On behalf of Patrick, Dash, Ryan, and Brendan, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Later today, we've got Two Guys and a Goalie, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, GCLT's Ulster pre- and post-game shows. But up next, it will be the Lock Shop with Dusty. So don't go anywhere. That's all coming up right here next on Edmonton Sports Talk. Have a good rest of your day.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today.